the madness.
Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Mantho, and a lot of you guys have requested for me to show my talents, my honor talents, and just do like a rotation guide or guide in general for my Deathknight. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys, find some other way or a better way to do things, leave it down in the comments below, and let's just get right into it. So for the 56, because of our nerf that we did get in 7.1, I believe, we had to kind of change up our build and not really go with the big AoE breath build. We still can go with that for like battlegrounds, but for 2v2s, maybe 3v3s is probably not the best, because our single target, it's pretty good right now, so we had to switch up our build. We still can mess around with it. Shattering Strikes, Icy Talent, and Murderous Efficiency, they are all really good. Now, Shattering Strikes, what it does is you can stack Razor Eyes up to 5, and then once you use Frost Strike, it will consume them, all the stacks, and then it will do additional 40% additional damage on your Frost Strike. Icy Talent, Frost Strike also increase your melee attack speed by 10% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. And now the reason that I'm picking this one over the other ones right now is because it goes well with Obliteration, which I will show you guys in a minute why it goes well together. So basically, if you have Obliteration up, you're going to be rotating between Frost Strike and Obliterate to do your burst damage, and that is really why it's going to go really well with Ice Talents, because it'll increase your attack speed and make sure you get the most out of your burst that way. Now, Murderous Efficiency, this was really good for the breath build. I haven't tried it ever since we got nerfed. Consuming the Killing Machine effect has a 50% chance to cause you to gain 1 rune. Now that is really good if you were to be running breath build, because if you can get 1 rune back while trying to keep your rune up, or your runic up, then it's just more extra time on your breath. Freezing Fog, I'm running this just to, like, let's say I'm kiting, I can throw Howling Blast and trying to keep my chains up. And if you don't know, our artifact has a range Frost Strike, so I don't even have to be hitting my target to do a lot of damage. Now, Frozen Pulse is more like an AoE. If you have less than 2 runes, your auto attacks radiate intense cold, inflicting 2.2 frost damage on all enemies like nearby. That would be something that could go with breath for like battlegrounds again, but I'm not going to be running that, especially Freezing Fog. Increasing the Howling Blast in battlegrounds for 25%, probably more efficient, because if you're rotating right, you probably won't be under 2 runes for a very long time. Horn of Winter, it is really good. You can use this or Freezing Fog, whichever you wish, whichever playstyle you like more. Personally, I use Horn of Winter more to go with the breath build, just to get my 2 runes back and regen some runic power and keep my breath going. But right now, like I said, ever since our 7.1, we all really changed up our build. Now I'm running Ice Cap. Your Frost Strike and Obliterate Critical Strike reduce the remaining cooldown on Pillar of Frost, which is really good because Pillar of Frost and Obliteration actually are really short cooldowns and they combo really well. So if we can get our Obliteration and our Frost Strike and Obliterates to get our Pillar of Frost up faster, that's just more burst for us. Hungering Rune Weapon, you can run this if you want. Like I said, this is one of those builds that would go with breath in order to keep constant runic back and constant runic power coming back. Regenerates 1 rune and 5 runic power every 1.5 seconds for 12 seconds. Whichever you want, personal preference again. Avalanche is more for an AoE, while Pillar of Frost is active. Your melee critical strikes cause icicles to fall on nearby enemies, dealing 16k frost damage. Now, this could be used for the AoE breath spec, or you can use it for the single target spec as well, just to get some more AoE pressure out there, because our only AoE pressure is our dragon and then our Howling Blast. Other than that, we have Remorseless Winter, but everything else is just single target burst damage that we have now. I'm using Winter's Coming for my 60 talent. Enemies struck 5 times by Remorseless Winter are stunned for 4 seconds. Now the reason that I'm running this is because we don't have Asphyxiate anymore. We don't have any other stun to replace Asphyxiate, so Remorseless Winter is a good way to get our stuns off. Now Blinding Sleet is really good. It's kind of like a scatter shot for hunters. You can go up to targets or just Cone of Cold, and you'll just throw like a little cold, like just a breeze at them, and it'll freeze them or disorient them for 4 seconds. Now that's good, but it's also bad because if any damage hits them, like any AoE or a dot, because it doesn't take off AoE dots or whatever when you apply it, then it will cancel the effect. Abomination Might. I haven't really seen anyone use this. Obliteration critical strikes have chance to drive lesser enemies to the ground, stunning them for 2 seconds, players or days, and for 5 seconds. Now, the reason that I could see people not using this is because Obliterate, if it procs a lot, it would like DRR your stuns as well as for your players, and then dazing them for 5 seconds. That's really nothing when you have Chains of Ice. And then Winter's Coming stuns them for more seconds, and it does more damage as well. Another reason that I think that Winter's Coming is better, because 4 seconds will then go into a DR of about 2 seconds, and then Abomination's Might starts off at 2 seconds, and then it'll go down to 1 second. So it's like another extra stun, or not an extra stun, but another extra second with Winter's Coming, and Abomination's Might. You know, the duration wouldn't be as long, but that's up to you to, you know, whatever you want to run. I'm going to stick with what I'm running. For 75, Volatile, I haven't seen many people run this as well. Your anti-magic shell turns your enemies against them, absorbing 35 more damage, but regenerates no more runic power. Now, this is really good for us because, I mean, like, this talent is really good, but this talent is really bad for us because whenever we pop AMS, we absorb big damage like Chaos Bolts, Glacial Spike, and that's really good to regenerate our runic back so we can get heals off, because that is like, that's what we need. We don't have many heals. I mean, we have Death Strike, and we need as much runic as we can get to get those Death Strikes off. So running this, I can already see kind of like a downfall going. Reflecting some of the damage would be good, I guess, but it's only 35%. Actually, it's not even 35%. 35% damage is what you absorb, 35% more damage, and then when it expires, 25% of damage is divided as arcane damage to anyone around you. Permafrost, when you deal damage with auto attacks, gain absorb shield equal to 30% of damage dealt. Now, I used to run this just because, like, I feel like what I would get a lot of auto attacks off, and then if this shield procs all the time, because it's, you know, it would just be a lot of damage that I would be absorbing. But then I decided to go with White Walker, and I've been doing pretty good at it because you take 20% reduced damage while Wraith Walk, and then, you know, a lot of people try to burst you down while you're trying to Wraith Walk, and, you know, that's why they root you. Like, if they're trying to, like, let's say it's a Frost Mage, he roots you, and then he's going to get that Glacial Spike off, so it's really, really good combo. So let's say you're rooted, and then you Wraith Walk to get out, but the Glacial Spike still goes off. You take 20% less damage, which is really good, as well as slowing, slowing enemies around you by 50% for 3 seconds. For the 90 talent, I'm going to be running this runic one. Auto attacks generate 1 more runic power, and then just because that build that I told you guys, it's based around auto attacks and obliterates, frost strikes, mainly not doing as much AoE with like Howling Blast and stuff like that. That's why I'm going to be running this. And then obliteration, you can run breath. It got nerfed, keep that in mind. It's more like AoE spec if you want, maybe 3s, probably not 2s, BGs for sure if you want. Glacial Advance, summon Glacial Spikes from the ground that advance forward, each dealing 124k frost damage to enemies near their eruption point. Now, this could be really good, but, you know, instead of running this, I would just run Breath, because it does a lot of damage over time if you can keep it going up right. And it is, yes, it's a 2-minute cooldown, but if you can have it up all the time, it goes for like 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm running Obliteration just because it combos really well with everything that I'm running right now. Plus our other build got nerfed like I have been saying. And this one's probably the best one right now for 2v2s, maybe 3v3s. But let me know what you guys think. Moving on to the honor talents, the first tier is really up to you: Gladiator's Medallion, Adaptation, or Relentless. I'm sure you guys all know what they do already. For the second one, you could run whichever one you want. Again, I'm running Reinforced Armor just to increase my health. I know some people run Hardiness, some people run I see a lot of people run Health Increase just because we are plate wearers. I mean, we already parry and stuff a lot like that. So the extra health just, it just comes in handy, especially when you're in PvP. People see that you're low health or you don't have as much health, people instantly target you. And then if you have a lot of health, people will tend to like stay away from you. Now from the third tier, right now I'm running the first one, but the second one is good as well, Dark Sim. The first one, you have a 20% chance when struck by magical spells for it to be completely absorbed, and then it'll turn into a disease. So let's say you get hit by a Chaos Bolt, it has a 20% chance to be absorbed, but then it'll still go off on you as a dot, so over time it just won't be that big burst. Dark Sim is really good. As you guys know, if you have played Deathknight before, what it does is basically you can apply it on your target, costs 20 runic power, and after you apply it, and if they cast a spell, you'll take that spell. So let's say I apply it on a mage, he blinks, I take the blink, and then I can blink too. He still gets the blink off, but I get the blink right after him. So it's, it's really good. For the fourth tier, I'm running Decomposing, or you can run Decomposing Aura. All enemies within 10 yards slowly decay, losing 3% of their max health every 2 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. Now this could be really, really strong if you stack it up to 5 times, because they're losing like what, almost 15% health every 2 seconds, lasting for 6 seconds. That's almost killing a target if you can stack it up. Hard Stop Aura, decrease the cooldown recovery rate of abilities by 20% to all enemies within 8 yards. Now this is really good if you want it to be. I mean, you can run it if you want. Basically what it does is the cooldowns of enemies will be longer. That's about it. Necrotic Aura, I'm running this right now. All enemies within 12 yards take 8% increased magical damage. Now basically this is really good because my Frost Strike is magical damage, my Howling Blast is magical damage, and so is my Breath, or my Dragon. So if I'm playing with more magical players, and players around me take more damage as well from them, like a mage or warlock and stuff like that. So it's really good for yourself in 2v2s or even battlegrounds, maybe even 1v1s. So this one is just to do a lot of damage. I don't know, they're all really good. But let me know what you guys. Now for the fifth one, I'm running Death Chill. Your Death Grip automatically applies Change of Ice free of cost, so it takes no runic or runes. And when you Change of Ice a target already affiliated by your Change of Ice, you freeze them, ruining them for 4 seconds. Now this is really good because if we run any of these other talents in this tier, we cannot have a root, we just slow. And this is really good because if we have them slowed, so let's say I'm kiting someone, that slow lasts for about 8 seconds, and then as soon as it's going to fall off, I can just root them right on top of it, and that's just really good in PvP. Especially to kite melees or anything if you're trying to get some health off or just keep someone around, and if you're trying to keep the second player out of your target, out of your LOS, and you're trying to nuke someone down behind a pillar or something like that, it's really good. Frozen Center, your Morsis Winter also freezes all targets within 10 yards, rooting them in place for 4 seconds. Now this could be really good because it is an AoE, because it'll stun and it'll freeze them, but because we're running that talent that it's stun to everyone around you, there's really no there's no point to freeze them on top of a stun. It'll just be stacking DR. Now the last tier, they are all very good choices. Tundra Stalker, damage of your Frost Strike is increased by 25% on snare targets, and critical strike chance increased by 50% on rooted targets. Now this is really, really good because if you guys have seen my past videos, I play with the Windwalker Monk, and we always have slows on the target, which means my Frost Strike does 20% 25% more damage, and if I have them rooted, it does 50% more crit damage, which is really good for me to get some strong burst out. So that's really good. Empowered Rune Weapon, it'll reduce your Empowered Rune Weapon from 3 minutes to 1 minute, which is really good if you're going to have longer games, and you know, it's just a lot of bursts really quick because it comes up with your Obliteration almost. Obliteration is 1.5. Pillar Frost and your Rune Weapon would be all on 1 minute, so pretty much every minute you would have some nice bursts to go out. But I feel like Thunderstalker is more consistent damage because you always have them slowed and rooted and stuff like that. Chill Streak. Now this is another really good talent. It's like a snowball. Deals 5% of target's total health in frost damage and reduces their movement speed by 70% for 4 seconds. Chill Streak bounces up to 5 targets between close targets. So basically what it does is you throw it to a target, and let's say there's 2, it'll keep bouncing 5 times, and every time it hits someone, it'll take off 5% of their health. Now that's really good just to get some nice you know, AoE spread pressure out. Or I don't know if it would be really good for single target yet because I don't have it unlocked, so I haven't tried it. But for 2v2s it would be nice, 3v3s, but keep in mind that it does break CC if it does damage, so, you know, scenario, I guess. So here is my artifact path. I'm only level 20, so obviously you're going to start off here at Blades of Frost, and where I went down was all the way down to Sindragosa. You're definitely going to want Sindragosa first. It is your burst. Even though it got nerfed, it still does a ton of damage if you can combo it well. It does like 500%, or not 500%, that would be insane, 500k damage to a target, which is a lot of damage if you can time it up, especially if you're running with a monk like I do, and you can time it with Touch of Death, Strike at the Windlord, and your dragon all at the same time they're dead. So I definitely rush your dragon first. After this, I kind of just curved out. I'm trying to go into the middle now for hypothermia, but I started back at the beginning and I went to increase Howling Blast, increase the range of Frost Strike because you definitely want that to kite your As Frost Deathknight, you don't have a lot of heals, so you want to try to keep as much range from your target as possible. And then right here, Ice in Your Veins, Death Strike heals for 100% more, but it's 300% for me because I haven't maxed all the way, while Icebound Fortitude is active. So this is really good just to get some nice big heals off if you're trying to go a little bit defensive and your offensive cooldowns are about to come back up. It's a great heal, especially if you time it with your proc after you killed someone, kind of like Victory Rush. It'll heal you from 0 to full health pretty much. This is something that you really need as well because as Deathknight, as I said, you don't really have as many heals. Your Death Strike heals you for like 5%, which is literally nothing. After this, you're going to want to just make your way, whichever way you think is better here. I think I'm going to go to increase offhand Frost Strike and Obliterate. And then you want to get Hypothermia. Each time Frost Fever deals damage, it has a chance to erupt, dealing 100k frost damage to the target. Now, Frost Fever does go off a lot, and the chance, it doesn't say, but if you get lucky, this will do a lot of damage. And then after that, you're just obviously just going to go right over here to Overpowered, and then get your Frozen Soul, and you will be complete. Okay, so as far as our rotation, not a lot has really changed if you played like previous expansions or like WoD and stuff like that. It's really all still the same. It's kind of basic. Frost Deathknights haven't been really hard for a while, and now with the big like burst that they have, it's pretty simple. So all you want to do is either, if you're kiting your target, you're gonna Howling Blast, AoE, whichever one you want to build up some Runic. Your main goal is always to build up Runic. If you're close to your target, you're going to want to Obliterate, build up Runic. It gets you Runic faster, so keep that in mind. You're also losing runes, so keep that in mind as well. So after your full Runic, if you want to just go ahead and burst, you're going to pop your Pillar of Frost. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to pop your Obliteration on top of that, and you're just going to rotate like this. You're going to pop your Frost Strike, then you're going to get your Killing Machine proc, then hit Obliterate, Frost Strike again, Obliterate, Frost Strike again. You're just going to hit whatever lights up, really. That's how Deathknights are working right now. And now you want to try to pop your Obliteration once you are full Runic. And the reason that I say that is, once it falls off, as you guys saw it fall off, for me, I kept on using Frost Strike, which is really good. to keep my pressure going, especially if I bursted with my target rooted or slowed. I'm still doing a ton more damage if they're slowed, 25% more damage, 50% more crit damage if they're rooted, so keep that in mind. And then on top of that, if you want to combo something real nice, just go ahead and throw in your dragon. And then you use your empowered rune weapon whenever you're out of runes or runic and you want to get some heals off, or you want to just keep going super offensive with your burst. Now, as you guys see, my Pillar of Frost is already off cooldown because of all the frost strikes and obliterates that I did. It came off cooldown really fast, so that is why that one talent is really good. But I think that is it for this video. Let me just go over some quick macros if I have any. There's really no macros for Frost Deathknight. I mean, if you have focus targets, which like this DK right here, he's not my actual target. As you can see, I'm targeting myself. If this Frost DK were to be targeting or casting, I could kick him on his cast without even targeting, so I could keep hitting my my target dummy here and kick the Frost Deathknight over there. So that is, you know, it's a really good to like focus target, but this is my macro for death grip right here, so I could grip him in and still attack my target. So let's say I'm playing with my monk, right? Play with my monk, I'm doing twos, we're hitting this dummy over here, gonna turn off the game sound, I'm hitting this dummy, and then he wants to get a nice double leg sweep off, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grip the Death Knight while still targeting my my main target that we're hitting, and then I'm gonna grip him in, and he's going to go ahead and just leg sweep and get the double leg sweep. Now combo's really good. This is my Dark Sim. Same thing, just, you know, you reapply Dark Sim, or you don't reapply, but you apply Dark Sim on the target that you have focus rather than the one that you are targeting. Now this is my last focus macro for my Frost Decay. This is the Mind Freeze one, the kick one that I was talking about. And you can pause the video wherever you want just to go ahead and just copy this. This is the Pillar of Frost or your burst. So Pillar of Frost, and then if you have any trinkets, flasks, potions, whatever you want to pop. There's really nothing that you can pop now in Legion, so I just have a bunch of toys in there and stuff like that. But I think that is it for this guide. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.